Hey there YouTube, welcome back to a bit of a special video. This is basically a previous armies update. So basically it's some items I've added to my three other previous armies. So my Marines, my Japanese and my Italians. There's not a whole bunch of stuff. There's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. As I mentioned in my British Army update number 4, I have got a lot more stuff to add to some of those armies, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on those as we go along on the video. So let's start with my my very first by-action army, which was my Japanese. The only thing that I've got to, like model-wise, to add to this is this here. Just zoom in a little bit. This is the Type 95 Kurogane Scout Car. It's a beautiful little model. It's by Warlord, and it looks just like a noddy car, basically. Really nice little dinky model. I really do like these little tiny sort of Jeep models. They're just like, they're so sort of small and cute. This particular model was a little bit of a pain to put together, but in the end it turned out really, really cool. And again, like I was saying, when I painted this, probably about maybe maybe 7 or 8 months ago, like I painted it in between sort of finishing my last British update and around that sort of area, I decided to take the plunge and I actually had this model for quite a few months before I even started my British army. And I decided to get it done. I decided to go with the top down. You get options for top up or top down. And my main problem that I had with this model was the window frame here. It basically came mismolded, and there was basically like a big chunk of it missing, this part here. So it looks a little bit untidy, but I had to basically make my own little filler part for that. And I basically put my own windscreen in, and I decided to have the front folded down. And I think for all that sort of bother that I had to go through, it actually turned out looking really quite cool. I was just kind of a little worried going back to painting Japanese again after not painting them for so long. Again, you get that sort of with your sort of painting progression. Sort of shines through, and I think it came out really quite cool in the end. It's such a cute little model. It really is. I've actually seen somebody paint this up in the sort of noddy car colours, and it actually looks really funny. But yeah, this is the Type 95 Kurogane Scout Car. You can see it comes with the passenger with a Type 99 LMG to give it a little bit of fire support. Really cute little model, and I was very happy with how it turned out. Other things that I've got planned for my Japanese, let me just bring in the second item that I've got for my Japanese here. This is a Japanese landing craft. I do plan on adding a platoon of Special Naval Landing Force, and I'm going to basically end up getting a couple of these just for terrain reasons. This is I can't remember who actually makes this model, but I got it from the Warlord site. It's a really nice MDF and cardboard model. It's got an operating ramp here at the front. Really, really cool. However, it was not that easy to put together. I can assure you that. It caused me a lot of problems, and you know, for all that perseverance, it actually came out looking really quite cool. I love the way that the, I mean, you can see if you look at the sort of the sides here, it's got that sort of like sort of a rough where it looks like the paint's chipping and sort of rust set in. And it's because all this side is like it's basically cardboard, and when I stuck the sides down, I basically stuck a piece on wrong and had to peel it back off, and it kind of where the PVA glue makes the sort of the side wet, it kind of sort of slightly tore the edges up, and when I like basically gave it its kind of spray base coat of basically like a grey primer, it kind of the paint kind of built up on it, and it made it look like really like sort of chipped paint, and ended up coming out really quite cool. I just added some sort of rust effects, and there's the sort of the cockpit, pretty basic. The actual proper name of this landing craft has kind of slipped my mind. It could be Super 90, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's really quite a cool model, and I basically copied that sort of Japanese writing on the side from the one that's painted on the Warlord site. I'm not 100% sure what it means, but yeah, I was very chuffed with how that little model came out. And like I say, I do plan to add a very basic platoon, i.e. 2 infantry squads and a command section of Special Naval Landing Force to my Japanese. I've also other models that I've got planned for them. I've got another tank, a Type 3 Nuchi perhaps, something like that. Tank and another unit of Japanese infantry, and also a 105 howitzer for them. So that'll be quite cool when they're all done in the near future. So that's the stuff that I've got added to my Japanese force and stuff to come. Let's next go for my second army, which was my Marines. Only 2 things here to add to those that are actually done. The first being another aircraft for air support. So let's just zoom out a little bit because this one's on kind of a high stand. So in fact, that's limited. I'll take it off the stand. Here you go. So I'll show you the stand first. The stand is done in the same sort of style as my last one, where it's basically designed to be flying in over a beach. This is a flying stand that I got from somebody on eBay. Really cool flight base. And again, like I say, I used a plastic putty to mould the ocean, and then I painted it over and highlighted it, and then went over it with clear coat to give it a sort of sheen, and added some sort of like effects on the beach to make it look like it's kind of washing up on shore, to give that sort of flying in over the beach look. Very happy with how that turned out. And now the actual aircraft itself. It's a Corsair, of course, and this is actually a model kit that I built from scratch and painted up, and it came out very cool. It has actually still got the moving prop. And I added my own pilot because for some reason model kits don't seem to come with pilots anymore, which is really annoying. And you can see that I've done some sort of cockpit detail in there, and it's got his gun sight. And it's the reason I like this model is because it came with rockets. So I've got the option of rockets or bombs. You can see where I drilled the hole in the bottom there to get it to fit on the stand. And the hole is a little bit on the big side, so I kind of stuck some sort of white tacky stuff up there just to help it stay at stand a bit more stable. All the transfers went on really well. It's not heavily weathered. It's got a little bit of weathering, especially around the sort of the engine area. and the sort of the machine gun ports. But it's you know, really cool. I think for I think it was a £5 kit, and ended up turning out really quite cool. And it's definitely one of the highlights of my of the aircraft that I've done, because I tend to use like Corgi Aviation 172 scale die-cast aircraft generally. So it was a bit of a change to actually make a plastic model kit, which was something that I used to do when I was in my sort of mid-teens, and I hadn't actually built a model kit for sort of 20 odd years. So I was very pleased with how this turned out, and it inspired me to do some other plastic aircraft kits. Like I've already done 3 aircraft for my future Chinese army, which are also plastic kits. Perhaps when I do my future look at my Chinese army, I might include those 3 models in that update, just to sort of to show you them. But yeah, I was very chuffed with how this turned out, and it's definitely a worthy addition to my Marine Army. So that's that. And the second thing that I've got to add to my Marine Army is a 75mm light howitzer, or pack howitzer. And this came out really cool as well. Again, it suffered heavily from that the same sort of feelings of going back to doing something from previous army. It's like, oh no, am I going to be able to remember how to do the camouflage? Am I going to, are they going to turn out as cool, etc., etc.? And lo and behold, again, you get that sort of you're actually better at painting by sort of a year and a half, so you kind of ends up actually blowing your expectations away. So as you can see, it's a Warlord model, 75mm pack light howitzer, highly mobile, 3-man crew. Generally, I'd imagine towed by a jeep, but can be just as easily pushed around by its 3 crew. And we've got the number 1 on the firing string, number 2 ready with another shell to load, and the number 3 ammo bearer or ammo assistant bringing up the extra ammo. And this base came out particularly cool. It's kind of taking cover behind the scrubbed up terrain just beyond the beach, before it goes into sort of the grassland, and they've found a nice little berm, set their gun up, and are ready to lay down some support. And we've got this, like I say, this sort of the mixed dirty, sandy, rocky terrain, before it starts going into the sort of the sun-drenched sort of grass. Came out really cool, and you can see the crew again, for not having painted a Marine for so long, they came out really quite cool. We've got the 2 Marines with helmet covers, and the 1 guy with the normal sort of netting. Again, this was not a personal choice, because if you go back and look at some of my Marine Corps videos, you know that I always try to have Marine Corps helmet covers, or just a plain helmet if possible. But this was chosen because of facial expression rather than of the helmet that he was wearing. So I think that position on that particular guy suits him really well. And you've got the firer, the number 1, in camouflage trousers, or camouflage BDU trousers, his standard Marine Corps vest, his dog tags hanging around his neck, and he's on the firing string. And he's got quite tanned arms. You can see that the camouflage trousers came out just as good as when I previously did my Marines. And then the number 2, again supporting the standard Marine Corps vest, and he's got some tattoos. A US Marine Corps one on that arm, and I'm not 100% sure what that one is. Some kind of design. I think it's a dagger or something. But yeah, anyway, it looks quite cool. And he's holding the shell, obviously. Then the loader, he's got a his green, basic BDU green trousers and uniform top. But he has actually cut the arms off it. And you can see that he's scrawled his name on the back there, Hobbs. And he's pulling in a box of ammo. And he has not got any tattoos by the looks of it. But yeah, I think this gun came out really quite cool in the end, and definitely a worthy addition to my Marine Corps army, because I as soon as they announced this model, I thought, yes, I'm definitely going to get one of these for my Marine Corps. I haven't got massive plans for adding extra things to my Marine Corps army. This being one of them. I think the second thing that I'm going to add, in fact I've already done them, they're waiting to be varnished, is a second sniper team. I don't know if in the future I'll add another armoured vehicle, but the chances of me perhaps adding some more infantry in the future is definitely a possibility. So that is the Marine Corps 75mm pack howitzer. And now the final thing, which I actually forgot to mention when I was talking about things I've added to my armies in my past British army update video, was I actually added something to my Italians, and it's basically this little thing. It is a Fiat L35-33 light tankette. And it's again one of those really cute little models. This is a little Italian armoured vehicle that was used quite heavily in the early parts of the war. I think as many as 70% of Italian armoured vehicles that were around in the early part of the sort of desert war were actually these. And you can see it's literally a two-man little vehicle. And they actually came in two versions. You've got the standard version here that came with the twin Fiat L37 MMGs, and I actually magnetised this little section here, and you can swap it out for the second version, which was the one that had the 37mm anti-tank rifle or gun, light anti-tank gun, and you can basically put that on and it becomes that version. Just straighten it out a little bit. There we go. And again, I did this in the same armoured division as my other Italian armoured vehicles, the Rams head division, and the crewman came out really cool. I think this model is actually a Perry's, and it's very, very cool. It's very reasonably priced. It came in not many pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pieces. It came with an extra crew member, so it actually came with 2 crew. So if you wanted, you could have the driver and the commander sticking out of their cupolas. Obviously it came with the swap out of weapons. And again, it really highly came with that sort of that extra year's worth of painting experience. Again, kicked in, and it turned out looking really, really quite cool. I was very, very happy with it, and you can see the tank commander in his classic black leather jacket, and a sort of a very dark brown leather tank commander's helmet, and you can see he's got his bandolier of rifle, because tank crew generally carried a carbine or 2, a Carcano carbine, so he's got ammo for that, and no doubt he probably had a pistol as well. And you can see that I've given him the rank on the arm there of a Lieutenante, I think, which is basically a junior lieutenant. And I've put the number plates on there. Yeah, it came out really quite cool looking. And things that I'm going to basically add to my Italians. I'm basically adding a platoon of a platoon and an extra infantry section of no, actually it's a platoon of Paracaduzzi, or Italian paratroopers. I'm going to basically add to my Italians, and this is going to be the armoured vehicle that's part of that particular platoon. So yeah, like I say, I'll do a little extra video on when I start doing my new things for bot action videos, or sort of future armies. I'll do one on the extra Italian paratroopers that I've got to add to my army. There's not many of them. It's literally just the basic, the big box of Italian paratroopers that you can get, and one extra paratrooper section added to that. That is the end of this little added extras video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to keep kept up to new videos when they come. Hopefully, like I say, they'll be a little bit more frequent. Now I seem to be getting back into the making videos jive. Yeah, I'll catch you next time.